the difference between a career coach and a career counselor? Both of these terms have been used very loosely, specifically in the Indian context. Let's try and understand what are the difference between these two. Now, counseling has been derived from a mental health perspective and deficit model, a perspective that attributes failures such as lack of achievement, learning, or success to get employability to a personal lack of efforts or a deficiency in the individual, rather than attributing it to insufficiency of the training or the education system. Whereas if you look at coaching, it has been derived from the positive psychology movement. It is a scientific approach that emphasizes on a person's thoughts, behavior, and feeling. It focuses upon the strength rather than the weakness, looking at the good rather than repairing what is bad. In counseling, there is essentially a problem or an issue or a gap that you need to help your client with fixing it. Whereas if you look at coaching, we not trying to look at what is wrong with the person and then trying out and coming up with ways to fix it, rather than what is right for the person, what are their inherent strengths, and then further helping them in building it. If you want to be a career counselor, you will require a master's degree in guidance and counseling and a practicing license. Whereas if you want to be a career coach, a certification from any recognized body and your experience will come in really handy here. Now, counseling is very, very similar to a medical model where you go to a doctor with an ailment that you have, and then doctor takes a complete diagnosis, comes up with ways and asks you about the frequency of the symptoms, what is the family history for it. Whereas when you look at coaching, it is a very positive and a strength-based model. The crux here is that you already have all the resources that you would require to fix a problem that you face. If you look at counseling from a social service sort of a perspective, it can come in really handy when a person is facing chronic career indecision or extreme anxiety, is very, very indecisive. He has a lot of anxiety when he's talking to his colleagues or probably to somebody at a higher rank, or is facing issues in the family or has depression. Whereas if you look at coaching, the idea here is that your client is probably stuck in a situation and you'll have to come up with ways that can help him to move forward, take a step forward, or probably uncovering the motivation for them to move forward from that situation. Now, if you look at the orientation of counseling, it is past to present focus. So the client is going to the counselor with a present problem that he's facing in the present, and the counselor tries to figure out what triggered it and what is the root cause of this problem. Whereas if you look at coaching, it is very, very task and action oriented. It is focused from present to future. So kind of recognizing or having the awareness what the problem is in hand, and then kind of working towards a future goal and what you can do with it. The emotion part is important here, but it is important when taking in context that if it is helping your present situation or not. I hope this will help you in understanding the broad differences between the two and shed some light between what each perspective means.